podcast. I thought this was history. Sorry, folks.
Sports and then just mixing metaphors in general. So our dominoes are going to fall like a house of cards.
Yeah, they're also going to crumble like a cookie, or is it a cracker? I don't know.
Well, but yeah, just a little bit of the aftermath, because this is worth focusing on. That Sherman is victorious. Hood gets a reputation as being probably the most reckless general in the Confederate Army. And James was tallying the numbers, but to give you a final tally, the casualties for each side are roughly equal in absolute numbers. So the Union suffers 31,687 casualties. And that's about 23,000 wounded, a little over 4,000 killed, and 4,000 missing or captured. But among the Confederates, there's 34,979 casualties. And I won't go into I'll break it down. So there's about 19,000 wounded, over 3,000 killed, and 13,000 missing or captured. So this is a much higher Confederate proportional loss. Hood's army leaves with only 30,000 men. Sherman keeps 81,000 men. And it wasn't a perfect victory for Sherman. His original mission, or the mission of the campaign, was to destroy the Army of Tennessee, and his opponent did escape, but the victory was his at this point. So that's just a small qualification.
I have to tell you.
Any other thoughts on this?
Sorry, I have to tell you something. My TA said, the same one that said the Confederacy lost the war in 1848 in the Mexican War when a shell fell into Braxton Bragg's tent and did not blow up. He had a way with words. This TA. This is not quite as poetic, but he said Sherman didn't take Atlanta. Hood lost it. So he had a very low opinion of General Hood. He just felt like Hood completely blew it. And I don't know that the Confederacy at this point could possibly have held on to Atlanta indefinitely, but I think had Joseph Johnston stayed in command, they might have held out quite a bit longer. I think Hood basically threw away any chance the Confederacy had of stopping Sherman.
Well, we're going to see Hood a little bit more in the next episode with his march into Tennessee, and then look at Sherman's march to sea. See you then. All right, well, that was the episode for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. First of all, I'd like to thank the Knowlton's Rangers, and especially our spy masters, Baron Freza, Carl from Norway, Chris from Maine, and Melissa Sarnowski, and I'll explain what that means in a second. If you want to support the show and help me keep producing this content, there are 4 easy ways for you to do it. 1, subscribe to the show and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. If you want to do that, you can go to historyunplugpodcast.com, and there you'll find instructions. 2, join our Facebook group, which you can find if you just search for History Unplugged. And please like and share posts that I put up about new episodes. 3, submit a question to me so that I can answer it on air. You can email me at info@historyonthenet.com or leave a voicemail. And again, go to historyunpluggedpodcast.com and you'll find instructions. Lastly, and I think this one is the best, is to become one of the Knowlton's Rangers. The Knowlton's Rangers were an elite reconnaissance and espionage detachment of the Continental Army in the Revolutionary War, but it's also the name of the History Unplugged membership program. Learn how to join by going to patreon.com/unplugged. So here's what you get if you become one of the Knowlton's Rangers. If you join at the level of Scout, you can get early access to new podcast episodes, along with enjoying absolutely every single episode of the History Unplugged podcast ad-free. All 270 and counting episodes. If you join at the level of Intelligence Officer, you can also get access to premium episodes, like a multi-part series on the life of Audie Murphy, the most decorated combat soldier in World War II, or the 10-part series Ottoman Lives, a series that looks at the cast of characters that made up the Ottoman Empire, such as the Sultan, the Eunuch, the harem servant girl, and the soldier. And finally, if you join at the level of Spy Master, you get all the same stuff as the Scouts and Intelligence Officers, but you also get a shout-out to you and or your business at the end of each episode, a 3-pack of hardcover history books, plus you'll be put at the very front of the line for me to answer your question about history, and I can guarantee I will dedicate an episode that's about an hour long or so to your question. Sign up at patreon.com/unplugged. Again, that's patreon.com/unplugged. Anyway, those are the ways you can help out the show. Thank you so much for your support. Thanks for listening to the History Unplugged podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the show to get your daily dose of all things history related, from ancient Greece to the Cold War. We'll see you next time at the History Unplugged podcast.